Okay. Daryl Willie Insurance and Money Podcast. My name is Daryl Willie. I am here to serve you. All right, where are my car people at, right? My auto people. Okay, we're talking about Ford, Hyundai report large declines in October EV sales after end of federal credits. All right, there's an article by Michael Whalen. Let's get into it now. Sales of all electric vehicles collapsed last month following the end of up to $7,500 in federal incentives for purchasing an EV. All right, this is what several automakers are saying. I do not believe that a $7,500 credit is going to stop you from buying a car, an electric car. All right, I have an EV and it wouldn't even matter. I would still buy the EV. So I think that I'm not sure how to read this, because I think this might have something to do with price points and people's ability to buy, to actually afford the car. But I don't think a $7,500 credit, once you're committed to an EV like me, that credit ain't gonna matter. All right, but it's saying they believe that $7,500 federal incentive has reduced people's purchases of EVs. Ford, Kia, Hyundai, Toyota reported massive declines in EV sales. All right, as many buyers pulled ahead purchase before the credits ended under changes by the Trump administration. Now, Ford, which ranked third in U.S. EV sales through the third quarter, reported a 25% drop in its year-over-year all-electric October sales. That included a 12% decline for its Mustang Mach-E crossover and 17% fall for the F-150 Lightning. Again, I do not believe, and we all have our beliefs, that it is because of this $7,500 credit. What I do believe is that autos are too expensive. Yes, we have inflation. Yes, we have tariffs and other things that contribute. But I do believe autos as a whole have just taken off like college tuition. You're wondering like, well, hold on a second. I know you got a little more tech. I know you got some other things going on, different quality of cars than before. But this increase on autos has been going for a long time. Okay. Now, Toyota reported it sold 18 units of its sold all electric vehicles named the BZ in October. That was down from 1,400 units a year earlier and 61 vehicles the month before. That's a big drop. Kia and Hyundai reported their top EV models dropped between 52% and 71% from a year earlier. The declines are notably greater when looking month to month. Okay, I get that. As September marked the end of a record quarter for EV sales in the U.S. ahead of the credit ending. So even though there were some drops, all right, it's still was a record, right? So it still was a record quarter for EV sales in the United States, even though it was ahead of the credit incentive ending. Some models, such as Hyundai's, Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 9 EVs fell by 80% and 71% from September to October, respectively, according to its reported sales. All right. It was a similar story for comparable vehicles at Kia, which owned by Hyundai Motor but largely operates separately in the U.S. While the expiration of the federal tax credit impacted EV sales in the month of October, we still saw strong demand leading up to that change, and we remain confident that the market is going to reset. Now, I totally agree. Now, if we want to say it was because of the tax credit, people slowed down spending, I'll give you that. But like he's saying here, we had stronger demand before that, and we expect the demand to still be there. I believe it, because people who go after these EVs are committed. Straight up. They are committed. Those people that I've spoken to who fully believe in the EV story and do not like going to gas stations like me, committed. That's why I'm saying $7,500 tax credit isn't going to stop you from buying. Okay, meanwhile, sales of hybrid vehicles for car makers are expected to continue to rise. There it is. Sales of much of such models for each of the automakers were bright spots in October, the company said. Parker said Hyundai's hybrid sales surged 41% last month compared with October 2024, leading its total electrified vehicle sales, which included EVs, to be up 8%. Guys, I am telling you, automakers are making money because the price of cars are outrageous. All right? Just to me, just out of order. But people are still buying. And I've seen people justify the dumbest purchases in autos, and they will, I just need to feel safe, and I just need this to be, and I just want to be sure. And you will spend $20,000 to quote unquote think you feel safe, extra on top of what the car should actually cost. But that's your choice, right? Now, with the credit now off the table, the market appears to be settling into a more normal rhythm. Jessica Caldwell, head of insights for CarMax, Edmunds, said in a Monday blog, October marks the start of a reset period, one defined less by incentive-driven urgency and more by buyers motivated by genuine interest in EV ownership. And those are the people I'm talking about. That $7,500 credit, I don't know about those people. But the people that are committed to EVs will spend the money. And this is what she's saying. Ahead of the EV incentives ending, several automaker executives such as Parker and Ford CEO Jim Farley predicted a massive drop in EV sales. Farley last month said he wouldn't be surprised if sales of the EVs fell from a market share of around 5% after the end of the incentives from a level of 10% to 12% in September. Not sure about that, but we'll see. Tesla at a 43.1% market share and General Motors at a 13.8% led the U.S. automotive industry this year. Record domestic sales of all electric vehicles through the third quarter, according to data provided to CNBC from Motor Intelligence. So Tesla and General Motors EVs are leading the charge in EV sales. All right, Tesla's got 43% of market share. General Motors got 13%. Cox Automotive's Kelly Keybook estimates EV sales volume in the U.S. hit an all-time high in the third quarter, reaching 438,487 units sold. That marked a 40.7% jump from the previous period and an increase of 29.6% year over year. And this is what I've been seeing. Guys, everyone has an opinion and a thought about EVs. I am here to tell you, I do not care about cars. I don't even like cars. I might be the one guy that truly don't care about cars. It's never been a passion of mine. But I will say this. Once you get a full EV, not a hybrid, not a half a EV, none of that, a full EV, and you ride that thing for about 3 months, not going to the gas station, not dealing with a bunch of stuff that you would have to worry about. Okay? My EV, I've had the EV for 4 or 5 years. Never been in the shop for mechanical stuff. Just change tires. That's it. So I'm not going to tell you to get an EV, but what I am saying is it will make a great deal in your savings and how much you spend a month staying away from that gas station. So what they're saying is there has been a jump, a 40% jump in how many EVs are being sold year over year, because I think people now are slowly starting to understand the value of owning an EV. When EVs came out, they became too politicized. It was like this whole, EVs versus saving the industry and the jobs, and like it just, there's so much politics wrapped around these cars. But I am telling you, and I'm not trying to sell you on this, but I'm telling you from my own personal experience, EVs will bring value to your life. All right, so go to your local dealership, take a test drive, crunch some numbers, take a look. But the numbers are not lying. People are more and more jumping into EVs. It's growing, it's moving big, and it's not going to stop. All right. And when you look at inflation, you look at the price of gas, you look at what everything else is costing you in life, the less you can spend on a car, the better. Right. All right. Appreciate you guys. Hit me up with your comments in the comments section. If you need life insurance, home, auto, business insurance, reach out to me. Daryl Willie Insurance Insurance Advisors. I am in Illinois, but I reach out to Wisconsin, Virginia, and Texas. I appreciate you. Thanks for listening. See you in the next video.